There isn't just one type of Native American food. Remember that there are 566 federally recognized tribes today. There are regional and ingredient differences. Native cooking is easy to define based on two rules. 1. The use of food only from your indigenous area. And 2. Using only simple cooking techniques such as smoking, drying, or putting in direct contact with fire. Today, many Native American chefs focus on a pre-colonization menu. Foods that were eaten before European colonists came to the Americas. This means no factory-produced white flours, processed sugars, farmed meats like pork, beef, and chicken, and dairy. What is Native American food? Corn, squash, and beans are often referred to as the three sisters because they thrive when grown together and appear together on many native menus. Sometimes these appear with game meat such as buffalo and a rack of rabbit. Sean Sherman, owner of the Sioux Chef Catering Company in Minnesota and member of the Oglala Lakota or Oglala Sioux Nation, says that with Native Americans' knowledge of plant identification and usage, the cuisine is a lifetime of education to figure out, and he finds new plants and techniques every year. Loretta Barrett Owen, Emmy Award-winning host of PBS's Seasoned with Spirit, member of the Potawatomi tribe, and founder of the Corn Dance Cafe in Santa Fe, New Mexico, points out how plant-based and healthy native-based dishes are, with the Vegetarian Times and similar magazines being the first to promote her restaurant. Many foods at native restaurants seem fairly familiar, and not just because they're interpreted for a modern plate. Foods like popcorn, jerky, smoked salmon, blue corn, grits, chili dishes, and stew have native influences. One of the most controversial foods associated with Native Americans is fry bread, essentially dough fried thickly in lard or another type of shortening. It may be the most well-known type of native food, but its origins hark back to one of the most painful periods of Native American and U.S. relations. Fry bread was introduced from the Indian Removal Act known as the Long Walk that lasted from 1864 to 1866 and forced the Arizona Navajo people to walk 300 miles to relocate to New Mexico. Their food and their animals had to be left behind or destroyed, but to keep them from starving completely, the government offered ration boxes of cheap commodity foods like lard and flour. While some native chefs refuse to serve it, many embrace it. One reason for its popularity is that it doesn't require specialized culinary training. However, there are some specialties such as stuffed fry bread tacos, fry bread nuggets, and sugar fry bread dessert. Why aren't there more restaurants? While the restaurant business is known for being make or break, restaurants featuring native cuisine still have the benefit of being novel and popular. Barrett Odin's restaurant ran smoothly for 10 years before she moved it closer to her grandchildren, and the Pueblo Harvest Cafe has been open since the 1970s. People tend to eat what they are more familiar with at restaurants, so new native chefs are methodically combining indigenous ingredients into familiar salads, roasts, and stews. The reasons why there are few native cuisine restaurants could be from a lack of capital as well as an unfamiliarity with the food. For a cooking style that can easily be vegetarian, vegan, and gluten-free, Barrett Odin suggests that in this country, Native American food is the only ethnicity not represented in the culinary world. Native American music. In Native American culture, musical concepts and values encompass ideas about the origins and sources of music, and the ownership, creativity, transmission, and aesthetics. Native American music can be traced back to the time of creation, when certain songs were given to the first people by the Creator and by spirits in their mythic past. Sacred narratives describe the origins of specific dances, songs, instruments, ceremonies, etc., and shamans and other individuals may have dreams or visions in which spirits teach them new songs, rituals, and dances. Each community's musical concepts and values develop over time with complex social and cultural processes. These concepts reflect broader ways of thinking and as such offer important insight into general cultural patterns. Native Americans differ in how they discuss musical concepts, but even for our people who do not verbalize musical ideas, There are underlying conceptual structures, and they may be interpreted by seeing musical practice. Many Native American communities learn new songs and repertoires from their neighbors and have a long history of adopting musical practices from outsiders. Yet with every case, the music is a gift that comes from beyond the community or the individual. Some Native people consider songs property and have developed systems of musical ownership, inheritance, and performance rights. Other Native communities feel that specific pieces of music belong to an ensemble or to the entire community, and they should not be performed by outsiders without specific permission. Musical transmission involves oral teaching and learning processes that preserve songs and repertories from one generation to the next. Some genres, such as social dance songs, are taught informally through imitation and participation. Songs for curing rituals are usually learned through an apprenticeship, where the student receives direct instruction from an experienced practitioner over several years. Some communities have developed their own indigenous system of music notation, but these are used by seasoned singers as memory aids instead of teaching tools. In modern times, it is normal for Native Americans to supplement oral tradition with audio and video recordings for teaching and preserving traditional repertoires. Native Americans tend to evaluate performances based on the feelings of connectedness they create, rather than based on musical qualities. Native American performances integrate music, dance, spirituality, and social interaction. In multi-layered events, these may take place simultaneously, and different musicians or ensembles may perform together in unrelated genres together. These events require extensive planning that may extend over months or even years. Preparation includes musical composition, rehearsal, instrument making or repair, the assembling of dance regalia, and preparing the dance ground. The host prepares and serves food to participants and guests, and may give gifts to specific individuals. Participants themselves prepare spiritually in a process that involves prayer, fasting, and other methods of purification. The ceremonies may last several days, but the different musical components are interconnected in many ways. Everyone in attendance participates in some way, either through active involvement in music and dance or by bearing witness. Lead singers and dancers may be political or spiritual leaders who have an important role in decision-making for the community. Performances may be specific to a single community or to many, and even different tribes and nations. Native American spirits are also said to take part in these events. Musicians performing do not expect applause or praise from the audience, as their role is to serve their community, but there are aspects of humor included to keep people lighthearted. Native American instruments include skin drum, frame drums, a portable skin drum, log drums, water drums, which is a vessel contained with water, container rattles, deer hoof rattles, flutes that are made of sticks, bones, hollow reeds, clay, bamboo, bone whistles, fiddles, and musical bows. Vocal style may be tense, requiring greater muscular effort, or relaxed to varying degrees. The higher notes often sound more tense than notes in the middle of a singer's vocal range, and the sounds may be nasal or not. Men in particular may use a falsetto voice for a higher timbre using the full voice. The vibrato is rapid and slight variation in pitch, and is often a part of the aesthetic of musical performance. Traditional music plays a vital role in perpetuating Native American languages, some of which are not spoken in daily life any longer. Native American song texts constitute a genre of poetry in terms of style, structure, and expression. Native people often perform songs as part of traditional storytelling. These songs may illuminate a character's thoughts and feelings. Song texts usually make reference to local fauna or flora, specific features of the landscape, natural resources like water, or aspects of the community.